afternoon to all of you. Dr. T.K. Datta, Director of this distinguished institute, Dr. Sajjan Singh, Dr. Punia Saab, who has been my colleague for a long time, my all distinguished colleague, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I thanks Dr. T.K. Datta for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity to have interaction with you. And moreover, I'm thankful for giving good words to you about me, speaking so good words. So thank you very much. I will be talking 2 decades of dominance of Indian dairy and what should be our futuristic outlook. What are the technologies which we require if we want to remain at number 1 in the dairy sector in India and globally. This is the global dairy sector. Some facts, if we see the picture of last 3 decades, then milk production in the world has jumped from 530 million to 937 million. That was jump of 76%. India is the largest milk producer. 22% of the milk is being produced in India, followed by USA, China, Pakistan, and Brazil. But if we see the data of milk enhancement in production, then after 70s, maximum expansion, most of the expansion took place in Asia only, and that means South Asia. And that is proven in this way that in 2020-21, milk production in Asia rose to 379 million tons because of these 4 countries: India, Pakistan, China, and Turkey. The countries which are surplus with the milk production is the New Zealand, Ireland, and USA. So we are looking, India is the highest milk producing country, but surplus is with other countries which are nowhere as far as amount is concerned, but they are surplus in milk, and that's why we always resist that India should never sign the free trade agreement with New Zealand and Australia, because they are surplus, and that is, on the seashore it is waiting. The day we will sign the free trade agreement, a lot of dairy products will be pumped into Indian market, and it will be very discouraging for Indian dairy farmers. ये मूव नहीं कर रहा आपको सेल तो नहीं खत्म हो गया Yes. So this is we see the growth rate, global growth rate. Milk production trend, if we see from 1970 to 2020, earlier it was only 1.31% from 1971 to 2005. World dairy sector is growing at the rate of 2.26%. As compared to this 2.26% global growth rate of dairy sector, I will show that how India is doing. India is doing very well, more than 6.5% growth rate, and this year we recorded 6.6 or 6.7% growth rate in the dairy sector. This is the journey of Indian dairy sector. That was the pre-operation flood. Operation flood brought in mid-70s. Pre-operation flood, the growth rate was only 1%, and then there was operation flood, which was 4.7%, and now from 2014 to 2021, the growth rate is 5.6%. This is the real success story of Indian dairy sector, 4 to 5 times higher growth rate than global dairy production sectors. I will not go in the number of the animals, but very important points. I have taken the species crossbred, total cattle, goat, buffalo in totality. In totality, if I compare the first census, livestock census, and the last livestock census, then cattle population has increased to 38 million. So there was increase of 25%. Buffalo population, it was 43 million and it has increased to 109 million. In totality, 66 million has increased, and in the term of percentage, it is 153%. Goat population between first and last census has increased to 253%. 83.9, 84% total livestock population has increased. But three important points between 2019 and 2014 livestock, 20th and 19th livestock census. The number of crossbred female, the number of indigenous female, the number of milch animal has gone up to the tune of 39%, that is the crossbred female, 10% indigenous female, and number in milch 6%. However, the total number of indigenous cattle has decreased. So this was the significant findings of the last census of Government of India, that lactating animal has increased, female population either of crossbred or of indigenous or of buffalo, they have gone up, but cattle population, indigenous cattle population has decreased in general. I will let you know that what it means. This is the simple diagram that indigenous population from 1992 is decreasing like this, and crossbred and exotic population is increasing like this among the cattle. However, the female population of both indigenous, crossbred, buffalo, as well as the animal in milch has gone up. This is the success story of Indian milk production. I always say that the impact of white revolution was more than green revolution, but it was less talked, it was less glamorized, it was less spoken. In 50s, country was producing only 17 million ton, and now we are producing 210 million ton. If we compare with the green revolution, at the same time when India was producing 17 million ton, rice production was 39 million ton. And today, despite the green revolution, rice production has gone up just 100 plus million ton. However, from 17 to 210 million ton, it is the real success story of white revolution, which was not glamorized, it was not talked by at many forums. But this was real impact of white revolution, which is much, much higher than green revolution. 22% of the total milk is being produced in India. The recommended per capita milk of Indian Biomedical Council of India says that 280 gram. Indians should consume 280 gram of the milk. We are having per capita milk of 8 gram. And if we see the world average per capita milk availability, it is only 229 gram per person per day. These are the top 12 states having their maximum share in the milk production. Uttar Pradesh is contributing maximum in the national pool, that is the 16.02%. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Maharashtra, Haryana, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. These are the top states which are contributing milk in milk national milk pool. Now, coming to that, how the milk production has increased in India. It is the number, it is the technology. Whenever I talk at the international forum, people think that because India is having the largest number of livestock population, that's why milk production is high. We have analyzed in this way. ये नीचे वाला हट जाएगा बेटा जो ये है, अगर हट जाता है. This red one is, but this blue one is the base production from 1922 to 55.5. This is the base production in 2019. This one, green one, is the enhancement because number has increased. The red one is the enhancement because the technology has intervened. So if I say that in 2019 milk production is 210 million ton, then 55.7 million ton is the base production which was same in 1992. Then 15.7 million ton has increased because number has increased. 116.3 million ton has increased because technology has intervened. In next slide, I will make it more clear. Next slide.
Next slide.
Next slide, I will show that in the last census and in the first census, how dairy sectors has performed. If you see the slide, there was increase of only 25% increase in the cattle population. See here. In 1951, the cattle population was 155 million, and in last census, it has 192 million. So there was increase of 24% in cattle population. Buffalo, if we see, in 1951, it was 43.3 million, and now it is 109 million or 110 million. So there is increase of 153 million. Milk production, if you see, from 17 million to 210 million ton. So what I want to conclude that in the last 7 decades, 25% or 24% increase in cattle population, 153% increase in buffalo population led the enhancement of milk production to the tune of 1,235%. It is not the number driven, it is the technology driven. So very proudly we say that the technology driven enhancement in milk production, because the cattle population has increased only 24%, buffalo population has increased 153%, and milk population has jumped from 17 to 210 million ton. That is the 1,235% increase. It is because of technology intervention. And the technology which we know that we control the diseases, render pest, which was catastrophic for the dairy sector. FMD, there is a really breadth of the FMD outbreak which we were having 2 decades, 3 decades before. Different control measures, development of reproductive technology, we are bringing more and more animal in milk. We are bringing more and more animal in fertility. So these are our newer technology, feed fodder, newer research. They are responsible for enhancement of the milk production. Next, please. This is the per capita availability. It's the same thing. Punjab is, as I said, that 428 gram is the national average per capita availability, but certainly there is a big variation. Punjab, Haryana, they have crossed a liter per person per day. However, there are states, northeastern states, where per capita availability is very low. Processing, when we were sitting in director's room, Dr. Datta was talking that how much milk is being processed. Certainly, out of 210 million ton of the milk which we are producing, 48% is consumed as the production side. 52% is going to the market. And out of this 52%, 20% is being handled by cooperative sector. So if we talk about the total milk production, out of total milk production, it comes around 10%. So 10% milk is being processed by the cooperative, 25% by unorganized sector, and 15% by private sectors. So what I want to say that although we are producing 210 million ton of the milk, but if we calculate the milk being processed by organized sector, either a cooperative or other organized sector, it is very meager. 10% of the total milk is being processed by the cooperative. So there is a long road which we have to travel, and our dream is that each and every liter of this surplus milk must be collected, must be processed, and it should be brought in the marketing chain. 50% of the milk is being consumed as a fresh liquid milk. Value addition is being done only in 5% of the total milk. When I calculated, economists of NDRI, they calculated that dairy sector is supporting around 8 crores farmers. And these 8 crore farmers are mainly small, marginal, and landless laborers. More than 2 crores are organized in the dairy cooperative. That is a big sector. Dairy cooperative was tried by many countries, but it failed. But in India, it is a success story that 2 crores are organized in the dairy cooperatives, and there are 1.94 lakhs dairy cooperatives. But certainly, if we compare with the developed nation, more milk is being processed, more milk are going for value addition, and this is the way which we are thinking for our future. Dairy sector is most important. Livestock sector is important. Dairy sector is most important for food and nutritional security. Why? Dairy sector must grow at very fast rate. Important facts of Indian dairy. Dairy sector at the top. Today, dairy sector is growing faster than any other subsector or allied sector of crop sector. And we have calculated by 2030, the dairy sector will be producing more than half of the total agricultural sector. The growth rate of 2019 and 20 of 1 year, I tell you, global growth rate in dairy sector was only 1.3%. However, in India, the growth rate was 6.5%. In early 70s, the milk production of India was 1/3 of US and 1/8 of European Union country. But today it is 25% more than US and at least double of the European countries. Very important line, I will read it. Please listen, let us listen. Today, milk is the highest, largest agricultural commodities in India. The value of only milk, I'm not talking about the meat, eggs, and other hides, other livestock products. The value of only milk is more than the total value of all grains, rice, wheat, pulses, sugars put together. And this data is of Government of India 2019 and 20. The value of only milk was more than 8 lakhs crore as compared only to 4.5 lakhs crore value of all grains, pulses, and sugar. So what else we need a means a verification that today milk is the largest agricultural commodities. Its contribution in terms of value is more than 2 times than contribution put up together of wheat, rice, pulses, sugarcane for everything. Today, white revolution has surpassed the contribution of green revolution. Every 4th rupees generated in farm sector comes from the milk, and every 3rd rupees comes from the livestock sector. I always say that livestock sector in general in total agricultural outcome, total agricultural GDP, but the contribution of agricultural GDP in livestock is not even 1% of the total. Some issue, I think. So these are the important facts about the Indian dairy sector. One more slides of the Indian dairy sector important facts if we see. नॉर्मल मोड में कर दो. In terms of volume, if we see, if we see this year, in 2021, the Indian dairy market has reached a huge amount, more than 13,000 billion rupees. By 2027, we are expecting that it will touch more than 30,000 billion rupees. That is the 15% growth. Our economists have calculated that by 2030, the demand of the milk products will be growing at the rate of 9 to 12%. However, the industry will be growing at the rate of 4 to 5%. That's why we say what Dr. Datta was saying, that more and more milk should go in the processing, in the organized sector. Industry should match the growth of demand of the consumers. In future, the farm number will decrease, that we have predicted, but the number of animal in each farm will increase. We will be requiring technology-driven production, technology-driven processing, and technology-driven value addition. It is the only viable option if we really want that dairy sector to be sustainable in the country. What we have seen, the aspects of the dairy sector in the history are what we have seen here. There is strength in the dairy sector. There is stability. That's why we are growing at the rate of 6.7% annually. And these strengths are, there is a constant and sustainable growth despite limited investment either from public or from private sector. Why Adani and Ambani, they don't come in the milk production? Because it is difficult to produce the milk than process it. There is no investment from big houses in the dairy production. Very meager investment from private sector as well as from the public sector. Public sector data I have told, and private sector, there is no big player in milk production. Mega biodiversity and largest livestock population. India is the only country which is having 50 recognized breed of cattle, either you say as a boon or as a bane, but there are 19 buffalo breeds, Murrah, Jafrabadi, Nili Ravi, Mehsana, all good breeds, and that's why now we have taken a decision that till now it was the Murrah as an improver breed. Now government says that no, in addition to Murrah, we may also include Jafrabadi, Bhadauri and Nili Ravi as an improver breed. Highest milk production, 210 million ton with high growth rate, more than 6% growth rate. Low production cost, perhaps we don't calculate the labor of our women folk, those who are engaged in the dairy farming. That's why it is a low production cost from farm grade price, one of the lowest. World largest and leading buffalo germplasm holder. Murrah is the best germplasm of the buffalo, and India is holder of this germplasm. When I was director, then I calculated, till that time, 100 countries has demanded the Murrah germplasm. 100 countries, more than 100 countries, they have demanded the Murrah germplasm. We are following R3 production system, zero input, low output. We don't feed anything, but still we get some money. Low input, moderate output, intensive input, and high output. However, now we are shifting from low input, low output to intensive input and high output. Dairy sector across India is contributing 33 to 35% in national GDP, in agricultural national GDP. However, states like Haryana, they have crossed 40%. Their contribution in agricultural GDP to more than 40%. In the last 7 decades, dairy sector has never attained the negative growth rate. That is the best things in the only agricultural allied sector, we never attained negative growth rate. Livestock growth rate is very important. If it is a growing, if there is a strength, if there is a historical glorious history, that is important too. Why it is so important? Now it has been acknowledged that crop sector alone cannot provide the food and nutritional security to 140 billion population today and 1.6 to 144 billion population, 1.44 billion population today and 1.62 billion population by 2050. More than 87 farmers are marginal. They are having less than 1% of the land. Agriculture is not sustainable for food and nutritional security in the present farm. Nearly 40% of them are most marginalized, as well as they are not getting food and nutritional security. The farms are diverse, the urbanized, 57 to 60% net cultivated area are rendered even after 75 years of independence. We have not added much area under irrigation, depleting water table, poor soil health, depleting microbiota in the soil are main cause of decrease in production as well as productivity, and more climate resilient agriculture is not being practiced. So what I want to say that at present crop sector alone cannot provide the food and nutritional security to 142 crore population. Livestock sector is in need of that. Small livestock farms which we are having at present are the backbone for the food and nutritional security. At present, we are having around 147 million Indian households, and out of that 17 million households, they are totally dependent on livestock for their livelihood. Out of these, 75% are small, marginal, landless milk producers. So their food and nutritional security is totally on the livestock, and they are having the herd size of only 2 to 8 animals. More important, we always talk that our development should be equitable. Milch animal holding is more equitable than land holding. I read that milch animal holding is more equitable than land holding. Reason, 85% of total farmers are small and marginal. They are having only 47% of the farmland. So 85% farmers are having 47% of farmland. But these 85% farmers, they are owning 75% of the milch animal. So equitability, if we talk, livestock sector, dairy animals are more equitable than the farm holding. And this is one of the proof that I have calculated, that where are milch animal, where are more animal. This blue one is the animal present in drought prone area, and the red one is in the country. For example, if today, I'm talking about the today, this is very recent data, that today we are having 486 lakhs buffalo in milch. And out of this 486 milching buffalo, 380 are in drought prone area. Similarly, in crossbred, perhaps we think that more crossbred are in Punjab and Haryana. But the data says that out of 114 lakhs milch crossbred female, 91 lakhs are in drought prone area. They are more prone for food and nutritional insecurity. Out of indigenous, 480 we are having today milching in indigenous cattle. Out of that, 340 blue one is in the drought prone area. So it is more equitable. Number one, they are holding more animals. And number two, more and more milch animal are in rain-fed area, drought prone area, where there is less chance of irrigation, less chance of crop production. I said that dairy sector is a backbone for food and nutritional security. That was the growth. But now come to the nutrient in the milk. Nutrient in the excellent source of quality protein and good fat. Good fat, I am not having a lot of information, I'm not presenting them, but good fat, I tell you that lot of research has been found that those who are consuming full fat milk, they are less prone to obesity, less prone to cardiac disease, and less prone to other metabolic disorders. Reason is that it is not the fat, it is the total matrix of the milk. The way one micronutrient is helping the bioavailability, the absorption, the elimination of another micronutrient, it is the best example. If you are fortifying something, it is not going to be bioavailable, it is not going to absorb. But in the milk matrix is the best example that how each and every micronutrients are interacting each other. It is a very important source of calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, all fat soluble vitamin, all water soluble vitamin. When I was at NDRI, I tell you that there was an advertisement. A doctor says to a mother that add these products, maybe Horlicks, maybe Bonvita, whatever, add product X, otherwise calcium of milk will go in waste. We wrote a very strong letter with all documentation and we compelled them to withdraw that advertisement. And now we don't have this advertisement because milk is having calcium, phosphorus, vitamin D exactly in the same ratio, which lead 100% bioavailability of the calcium. It is only milk. Calcium, we all know, it improves the bone health. All this, it also controls the hypertension, colonic, anti-carcinogenic. Calcium and vitamin D present in the milk also helps to burn the calories more efficiently, and it helps to maintain the steady body weight. While healthy fat, milk fat is called as healthy fat. Healthy fat present in the milk to lower the blood pressure. Carotenoids act as antioxidant, vision improvement. Short chain fatty acid. In milk, there is a short chain fatty acid that is called as butyric acid, which is not present in any other food. And butyric acid is responsible for the multiplication of neuron in the brain. And that's why now science has acknowledged that during initial 1000 days of a child, milk must be an essential food because it helps in the development of the neuron and development of the brain. We took this slogan and we are talking at every stage that 1000 nutrition is most important nutrition for life of a child. And that nutrition must include the milk and milk products because it is having starch and fatty acid, which helps in the multiplication of neurons. Lactose also helps in the development of brain, and it also helps to multiply the probiotic. Prebiotic is a food of probiotic. Probiotic is a bacteria, healthy bacteria. So when we fall sick, probiotic bacteria number goes down, or if those number goes down, we fall sick. So it is a prebiotic. It helps in the multiplication of the healthy bacteria. Conjugated linoleic acid, which is present in very high concentration when animals were fed on grass, is also helping the nutritive status of the. I will take only two slides. That some important lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is a minor protein, but this lactoferrin is an important post-defense mechanism molecule, and it is having a series of action: antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antiviral, anti-cancer, antioxidative, immune regulatory. Lactoferrin is iron binding. If someone is suffering with iron deficiency, lead anemia, lactoferrin is being given because it binds the iron, it carries to the place where it is being utilized. Iron transport and all this. So all good point of nutrition is with the milk. Not only that, dairy food is the best food matrix for administration of the probiotics. Now science has acknowledged that if you want to administer the probiotic, then it is the fermented dairy food, which is the best food matrix. Reason? It is the best combination. Some important gene of the probiotics are expressed only during the process of fermentation. Otherwise, will not be expressed. If we are taking probiotics as a capsule or as a tablet or in some other food, it will not be as good. The refrigeration of the milk will certainly enhance the life of the probiotic, and that is a positive perception in consumers that yes, they are consuming the healthy food in the milk. Friends, these were all good points. Now coming to the major challenges which we really want to address, in what direction we should address these major challenges. What are the major challenges? There is very high nondescript population with low productivity. There is a shortage of feed and fodder, reproductive diseases and disorder, late sexual maturity of the dairy animals, indiscriminate breeding under field condition, infertility among crossbred males, wide gap between demand and availability of male germplasm, that is the proven semen, almost untrained or marginally trained AI technician, no perfection of AI with frozen semen in goat when we consider goat as a dairy animal, poor animal health, mastitis, FMD, brucellosis. There is a shortage of vaccine and diagnostic tools, microbial contamination of the food, and AMR issue, which we will like to address. Few points I will take. Large population with large number of non-descript. If we say the cattle population is still, despite 50 breeds we have registered, about 60% are non-descript. The breeds, 50 breeds, they belong only to 9.4%. So where we want to go, 60% people are, 60% cattle are non-descript. Buffalo, if we see, the non-descript population is still 43%. 43% buffalo is non-descript. What 19 breeds of buffalo we say that belongs to only 40%. Similar picture we will get in the goat. 63% goats are non-descript. The indigenous breed of goat what we have in India, they belong to only 43%. So this is the one challenge. What we will do with this non-descript animal and what we will do with this graded or with the descript animal which we have classified as a breed, and if they are not producing, if they are not of any economy to the farmers, what we are going to do with that? So this is one of the challenge. Productivity, low milk productivity is the major challenge. Now we can say that India averaged 1,700 per lactation. Let's talk about the USA, UK, Australia, France, very high per lactation milk yield. Breed-wise productivity, if we see, this is the status, non-descript only 4.2. Buffalo, yes, very good. It is the national average, 6.19, exotic 11, but still it is much behind than the global highest milk productivity species. Puberty age. Buffalo is the best, and Murrah is the best breed of the buffalo, but see the puberty age, 33.1 month. may not be Mehsana, Bharauri, they may not be as good as buffalo, but still they are having lower puberty age. The other Italian breed of the buffalo, they are having half of the puberty age as compared to the Murra. And that is the reason that majority of the animal is going in the slaughterhouses, even from Haryana, because no farmer is going to feed 3 years of an unproductive animal. This is one of the major challenges. Detection of heat is bigger challenge. Farmers fail to detect the heat, and if they fail to detect heat in animal, then there is a loss of 21 days or the milk loss of 21 days. And we have calculated that if let us see a very average milk production 5 kg, and then take all calculation that we are feeding 21 days of a non-productive animal and what is the cost of this much milk, each missed heat lead to loss of at least 6,195 rupees for a farmer within 21 days. And unfortunately, farmer is having 5 animals and misses the heat of 3 animals, then within 28 days, 21 days, he is going to lead loss 18,000-20,000 rupees. So that is the bigger challenge. We are recommending that yes, some new technology of pedometer activity, meter-based status detection should proceed. So this is the global status. It is not the Indian status only. Indians globally, what I want to say that intense genetic selection has changed the reproductive physiology. Globally, fertility and stress expression is declining. But other countries are not having the problem. India is having the problem because of some other reason. But global fertility and expression of heat is declining. Just I have compared that what was the picture in 1960s and what is in 2010 which was seen. In 1960, 85% cows were showing the best symptoms, visual symptoms, that was the standing to be mounted to show the farmers that animal is in heat. But now it is less than 50%. The duration of total stress cycle was 15 hours, but now it is only 5 hours. Ovulation was 10 to 12 hours after the end of stress. So there was a small window. There was good chance of the conception, but now it is ranging from 5 to 26 hours once stress is ending. First conception rate, first service conception rate was more than 75%, and now it is reducing to less than 50%. The pregnancy rate has decreased, while the days open and service per conception has increased. So this is the global changes because we are going for the high genetic selection, and this high genetic selection has changed the reproductive physiology of all animals. One bigger challenge is that there is a big gap. There is a long calving intervals and long gap between calving to conception. For example, in cows we see calving to conception at present there is 136 days, and our dream is to bring it at 85 days. Calving intervals from 414 days to 365 days. Our dream is to have 1 calf per year from the cow. Similarly, buffalo calving to conception, presently it is 169 days, it has to be 85 days. Calving intervals from 479 days to 410 days. So this is one of the bigger challenge that we have to reduce calving intervals. We have to reduce the time between calving to conception. This is one of the favorite slides of Dr. T.K. Datta. I always present and I always say that there are breedable population of cattle, buffalo, crossbred, indigenous, but they have never calved even once. This is, if you see in buffalo, today 56.48 million are breedable. Out of that, 7.7%, that is 4.18 million, they have never calved even once in their life. Similarly, in the crossbred, out of 21.22 million, 1.226 million have never calved, that is 7.8%. Similarly, in indigenous animals, approximately 10% animals they have never calved. So if we made these animals to calve even once in their life, there will be jump of milk production to the tune of 10 to 12 million tons. That is the one challenge. Poor status of artificial insemination. Just yesterday I was updating the data of 2020 and 21. Total AI coverage was only 29.7%. 29.7%, and conception rate is 35%. Now you can see that what was the status, and this year 2021 data says that the number of AI in million, it is only 78.5%. If we see the states which are having less than 10% of AI, between 10 to 20%, 20 to 30%, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and more than 100 is 50. Then it is a Kerala and Karnataka having approximately 90 to 100%. But see the states like Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, they are having less than 10% concern this AI coverage. But Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Mizoram, Rajasthan, they are having to. So this is the poor state of AI coverage. And this is our dream. This is the latest picture which we present government of India, that there is a big gap between demand and supply of the semen. Total breedable population at present of cattle, buffalo, either in milk or in dry, they have calf, not calf. Total breedable population is 156 million. AI coverage, today we are having 30%, that is of the 46 million animal are under AI. Our target is 109 million. That is the 70% of the breedable population should go under AI. So total number of AI, 78 million we are doing, and we will be planning for 175 million. If we calculate that how much semen dose is required, today we are going, we have, as students, we have been taught 2 insemination per conception. So we will be requiring 280 million doses of the semen. If we are going even 1.6 insemination per conception, then we will be requiring 175 million. We have calculated, friends, that if we want that each and every animal falling in 70% should be inseminated by 2033-34, then there is a shortage of at least 64 million doses of frozen semen. There is a shortage of breeding bulls. There is a shortage of qualifying the semen for insemination. There is a shortage of inseminator. In addition to that, there is a shortage of what semen quality we are having, very poor semen quality. Another challenge, there is a shortage of feed and fodder. You take any data, you take data of NDRI or NDDB or NAINP, there is a shortage of green fodder, there is a shortage of dry fodder, there is a shortage of concentrate to the tune of 39%, 36%, 57%. Reason is that from 1947, 4% area of cultivable land was used for fodder production. Today we are having 142 million hectares of arable land for agriculture. Out of that, 4% was used at that time for fodder production. And today also, the area under fodder production is only 4%. That is this. But livestock population has just doubled. So area is stagnated, but livestock population is doubling. So this is the reason for shortage of feed and fodder. Feeding is having highest expenditure on livestock farming. 70% of total recurring expenditure goes on the feeding only. We always recommend that government should support the fodder conservation. If we are going for silage or haze, if we are going from straw management, if we are going for another feed fortification process, government should also encourage all these issues. Animal health is big sector. If I want to show some alarming data, friends, then you can see only these two, three diseases. The economic loss due to FMD in India is estimated to be 20,000 crore. So now you can imagine. FMD is also affecting the export potential because livestock industry is not accepting the milk. Global industry is not accepting the milk, meat, and hide because of the FMD. If only FMD is controlled in India, milk production will jump to 5 to 7% annually. Export of meat will jump to 3 to 5 times what we are having. Similarly, the situation is of the goat. 3 diseases are catastrophic for the dairy sector. I always say mastitis, FMD, and brucellosis. These 3 diseases are real catastrophic for the livestock, for the dairy sectors. If we see that where we are losing maximum money, then this is the picture. Red one is infertility. 35,000. You can say that 46% of total loss in livestock sector is because of infertility. Then 32% is because of other infectious diseases, and 22% is because of other diseases which include calf mortality and etc. Indigenous Program. There was a committee constituted by PMO office, and I was there as an animal scientist. We strongly recommend that indigenous production of hormones such as GnRH, FSH, LH, and prostaglandin should be encouraged. because it will reduce the cost of treatment of the animals. Carbon footprint. We always say that we should conserve, preserve our local breeds. Yes, that is good aspect because they are the more climate resilient, they are less disease. But if you see the carbon footprint, indigenous is having the highest carbon footprint. This is the carbon dioxide equivalent per kg of milk yield. Indigenous cow, followed by goat, followed by buffalo, followed by crossbred cow. I also tried to calculate the carbon footprint per kg milk production and per kg of energy as well as per kg of protein in the milk. Per kg of energy in the milk and per kg of protein. In this case also, if we see carbon dioxide equivalent means it includes all greenhouse gases, methane, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide. Highest is indigenous animal. So we can say that indigenous animal, buffalo and goat, certainly we should conserve, we should preserve, but always remember we should remember that the carbon footprint is higher than crossbred animal. So last things, that what is the option? Milk productivity enhancement is an option. Reducing the number of size of animal, especially of low producing animal. We have to calculate the total carrying capacity of livestock for this land. 142 million agriculturable land, 4% is used for fodder production. How much animal we can sustain? Today we are having 200 million cattle, 110 million buffalo. How long? How much animal we can sustain in future? That is the bigger question. So carrying capacity of this land must be calculated in terms of livestock number. And these are all improving the productivity of low producing animal by using genetic improvement, using advanced breeding tools, advanced reproductive technology, strategic feedings, controlling mastitis and other reproductive diseases. So these are our future where we will be working. For roadmap for enhancing the production per se, 4 points. Let us say that crossbreeding will continue. It should continue, otherwise we will never meet the projected demand of the milk. But we will never use the registered 50 breeds in crossbreeding program. In crossbreeding, let us use non-descript cattle to continue the crossbreeding program. Number 2, the improvement of our indigenous breed, upgradation of our indigenous breed should continue with select breeding policies. Similarly, the buffalo should be improved through selective breeding. Enhancing productivity of at least 50% non-descript cattle and buffalo through grading up. That is the most important. Through grading up means using our distinct registered breed. For example, in buffalo, Murrah, Bhadauri, Jafrabadi, and Nili Ravi we can take for cattle, Sahiwal, Tharparkar, Gir, that we can take for the improvement. And crossbred animal, they should be increased for productivity by interseminating. I will not go in that. These are the technology. First generation reproductive technology, second generation reproductive technology, third generation, fourth generation. Dr. Datta is master of this. Now time has come, friends, that still we are held up with the first generation technology, that is the artificial insemination and cryopreservation. Even on this cryopreservation, a lot of questions are coming on the quality of the semen. But now time has come that the second generation, third generation technology should go to the farmers who are in field condition if we want to sustain the dairy sector for future. Last 3-4 more slides. Buffalo is the future. Absolutely. If we want to sustain in the dairy sector, buffalo is the future, because today population is half of the cattle population, 109 million buffalo, 200 million cattle, but approximately half of the milk is coming from the buffalo. We can see the adult buffalo population, how it is increasing. So there is a public perception also. They are taking more and more animals. Now you can see milk productivity per kg per day is also increasing. As I showed that 6.43 kg per day per animal as compared to 4.44 kg per day per animal in the last decades. So it is a good that number is increasing, productivity is increasing, production is increasing. All good point with the buffalo. People are liking the buffalo. Relative change is 24%. Absolute change is 38 million. Population has increased of the cattle. But in buffalo, if you say, the relative change is 67% and absolute Absolute change is 67 million and relative change is 153%. So population of buffalo is increasing, milk production is increasing, productivity is increasing. There is a need of buffalo.
The relative change means?
Sorry?
Relative change.
Relative change means number. Relative change means percentage. And absolute change means number. Absolute change means from 10 million to 30 million. That is the 20 million increase is absolute change. Relative change in the percentage ratio. Buffalo have as advantages. During lunchtime, I was talking that once we were working on a new anti-trypanosomal drugs in Ludhiana, and we went each and every district of the Ludhiana, but we did not find a single case of filariasis. But now they said that some cases are coming. But still, there is a low incidence of hoof infection in humid environment in buffalo. That is the recorded, that is the acknowledged. And bellowing in the mud or in the water, it is breaking the ectoparasite cycle in buffalo. Low susceptibility to disease and low incidence of mastitis, especially tick-borne diseases. There is less trypanosomiasis, less filariasis, less babesiosis. Then they are better use of the medium and low quality feed and fodder. Their feed conversion efficiency ratio is good. Very high content of the fat, protein, SNF. All these indicates that yes, buffalo is a preferred dairy animal than cattle, and it seems to be that it is our future in the dairy sector. Two more slides, friends, that discussing all these issues, the strength, weaknesses, our all technology. What are the science which we should do in future? That is the science in future. Cow site test for diagnosis of subclinical mastitis. 16,000 crore rupees we are losing because of mastitis, and 80% is because of the subclinical. We have to develop a cow site test which can give indication that animal is suffering with clinical mastitis. Early pregnancy and early diagnosis tools, early stress diagnosis tools. Our interest is that within 21 days, farmers can know that animal is non-pregnant, so that he will be watchful and he will go for insemination after 21 days. There is a cycle of 21 days after cycle. So we have to develop the test so farmer can detect that animal is pregnant or non-pregnant. In development of electronic nose for stress detection. That is the most important. I said farmers are missing the heat. They are not going for insemination and losing huge money. Reducing the puberty age in both male and female. In NDRI and ICAR-CIRB, lot of work has been done. Puberty age has been reduced. But let us see that can it be practiced by the farmers also? The quantity of nutrients we are providing, farmers cannot sustain. Technology for sex semen and sex embryo. Indigenous technology. Now what we are having, it is standardized for the Houston Frisian women. Reducing the gap between availability of male germ plasm. As I said, that 60 to 62 million male germ plasm are in shortage. So we have to go for reducing this gap. Improving the reproduction through reproductive physiology, through clinical pharmacology, through stress biology, and through promising biotechnology tools. Predicting the fertility of a bull at calf food level. That is the most important. Male calf can be predicted that this male calf will prove a good bull after attaining the maturity, so that we can say the farmers pays all attention for its rearing. So that will be one good technology that we will be looking in the future, predicting the fertility of a bull at calf foot level. Tools and protocols for enhancing the production and production growth. Now it has been classified as a dairy animal. So we have to go for enhancing the reproduction and production. We have to go for standardization of AI. Gadbasu is doing good job in artificial insemination of the goat. Mathura is doing good job in that way. Environmental friendly best disposal. You know, when I tell you, Dr. Datta, that I was also talking in a very light mood that yes, organic farming, natural farming is a just theoretical aspect. But last two weeks before, there was a conference on food and nutrition security and what is the role of environmental security, what is the role of livestock sector. I worked very hard. I considered, I think, more than 500 literature, and the quantity of nutrients, NPK, all other nutrients, all microbiota, which are present in the dung as well as in urine. When I calculated in dung and urine present in all animals, 200 million cattle, 109 million, 110 million buffalo, goat, it was much higher than the total fertilizer which we are using in agriculture. I am not very blind supporter of this one, but I think we should judicially talk the science. And now we are planning, I will request that let us see that total nutrient which is coming in the dung and in the urine. My very honest calculation, it is much, much higher than the total fertilizer which is being used as present in agriculture. I presented this data in present a very high profile participant in that. Now I'm working on this one, verifying this one, that how. So this is the best important thing. Exploring the health attributes of non-bovine milk. In addition to cattle and buffalo milk, goat milk, sheep milk, camel milk, pig milk, donkey milk, they are very, very packed with nutrients as well as health attributes molecule. The latest paper was that the donkey milk was having an analgesic which is 67-fold higher than morphine analgesics, which we are using at present. So there is a need to work scientifically on these issues. Zoonotic diseases, address the problem of zoonotic diseases. 70% of the total diseases of human being is not because of microbes of human, but because of microbes of animal. 23% to 27% of tuberculosis in human being is not because of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is organism of human, but it is because of Mycobacterium bovis, which is organism of cattle and buffalo. Big problem. Addressing the issues of AMR through animals, food, poultry sector, dairy sector is being blamed for the AMR that we have to address. Understanding the human microbial diversity and manipulation of human archaea, fortification of the crop residue, all these things is most important. Least studied theme in livestock sector is human microbiota. Lot of work is being done at every issue, but still it is negligible. So we have to go in detail for studying the human microbiota, that in what way it is happening. And more important, last, we have to develop something which ensure the delivery or absorption or bioavailability of micronutrient. It is not important what we are feeding, what we are taking. It is important what is being absorbed. And in human microbiota is playing major role in making the micronutrients bioavailable. And that is the untouched part we have to take it. Friends, with these slides, thank you very much. And now you can see this is of 214, not very old. Naker page ke 2014 likha hua hai. But we always say that this is not the way. And this is good point for CIRB if you are going for packing up the milk, because it is not the way to take the raw milk. Even healthy animal is carrier of Listeria monocytogenes, Mycobacterium paratuberculari. I will tell one incident. When we were at NDRI, me and Dr. Datta, we were having one seminar on zoonotic diseases. I delivered a theme lecture. A lady from Rohtak, she was from very good family. She came in my chamber and she said that I don't believe that's what you say, that raw milk, unboiled milk should not be consumed. I'm consuming unboiled milk for so many years because cow is mine, well treated, well vaccinated, good feed fodder. I have no problem. Unfortunately, after 6-7 months, she developed here some nodule, and the DNA, because she was from very good family, she went for all treatment, all testing. The DNA fingerprinting confirmed the genetics of the bacteria present in that nodule, that was the Mycobacterium paratuberculosis, and the fingerprinting of the bacteria occurring from the milk. It was the same. So this is not a good way. And second slide says it is our close interaction with livestock or even with chickens. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much for your thank you very much for our online friends who have joined. Because of some problem, there were some issues in the connectivity. Thank you.
Thank you.
पूरी दुनिया में हमारे डेयरी सेक्टर की क्या तस्वीर है वो डॉक्टर साहब ने विस्तार से बताया।